G'day, this is Ryan, and today we're talking about how you can quit your job and work for yourself full time. So I've been working for myself full time for about 15 months now, so just over a year. And everything seems to be going pretty well. Obviously, like anything, like any business venture, there's ups, there's downs. I basically run a home service business, so I'm essentially a handyman. So I go to people's houses, I do furniture assembly, I might do TV mounting, build, small fences, small retaining walls, little fix-ups, patching holes. There's a lot of different areas that my business will cover and assist people with. I basically got into the business and started doing it just out of frustration of having to work for people that I don't really respect and people telling me what to do, and it just doesn't suit me. I prefer to work for myself. I prefer to create my own schedule and make my own decisions, essentially. So I understand that everyone's situation is going to be slightly different. For instance, if you are, let's just say 40 years old and you have a mortgage, you have kids, 2 or 3 kids, this is going to be a lot more challenging for you than it would be for someone that has less responsibility. For myself, I started my little venture just when I got back from traveling. I was living in Canada for a couple of years and then decided to come back, and then I just worked for my landscaping friend for probably 7 months or so. And I was working my backside off with him, and I had the opportunity to live. It was one of the harder things to do because I'm 30 years old, but I had to move back in with mum and dad. And I did have enough money to be able to live outside of home and to rent a place, but I thought I'm going to be smart here and I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity, live with mum and dad for a short period and save money, and then I'm going to use that money to invest into my own little venture. So that's what I did. I basically worked for 6-7 months, was able to save about 12 grand, 13 grand, something like that. And then I invested a lot of that money into getting myself a new ute, and then some tools as well. So I got a ute, I got tools, and then I just started everything up. And the way I did that was mostly through Facebook. So started the Facebook page, called it Rhino's Home Solutions, and I just put myself out there, said, I was very honest. I said, I'm not a qualified tradesman, I am not a carpenter, I am not a plumber, I am not an electrician. However, I am handy and I can help you do little bits and pieces, whether that be, as I said, mounting a TV or assembling furniture. At the start, I was just doing everything I possibly could. Like, I would rip up carpet, I would help people move boxes if they needed it. I wasn't too fussy because I was just more determined to just make money and just be self-reliant and self-efficient, and work for myself. So I would take lots of jobs. I would recommend staying away from Airtasker and things like that, because Airtasker is it's a race to the bottom. People are just looking for the cheapest price. You're on there and, you want to price yourself reasonably, but, your customers want you to do jobs for like $20, and you cannot run a business doing that. You need to be able to make enough money to pay your tax come tax time, and then you need to make enough money to buy the tools that you need to buy. You need make enough money to pay your rent. You need to make enough money to pay for your fuel. There's so many expenses when you are in business, and your tools and the materials and little bits and pieces that you need to buy are not cheap. So it's really important that you are charging enough. For instance, I always try to be charging myself out at around $70 per hour. And that would be a minimum. I will try to sometimes charge myself out more than that if possible. I always try to charge per job rather than charging by the hour. And, I'm confident about what I offer to my customers, and I know I'm a hard worker. So I am confident to tell people that's what I charge, and that's what you need to do as well if you are charging yourself out. So that's just in regards to charging. However, like what I would say is in regards to getting jobs, because that's the most important thing. Obviously, you need the equipment, you need the skills. If you don't have any skills and you can't do much, then, it might not be the best method, or I'd advise maybe going to do a TAFE course or working under a tradesman, a builder or something, and learning a few things before you get into this. However, when I don't know a lot of things. I don't claim to know a lot about building and construction. I just have very basic skills, but it's still enough for me to have a profitable business and pay my bills and work for myself full time. So not bad. So in regards to getting customers, because that's the most important thing and that's what we want to focus on, I started on Facebook. I think Facebook pages are quite good. So I started just posting in Facebook pages at the first 2 or 3 months or so, and just offering things like solar panel cleaning, gutter cleaning, TV mounting, just odd jobs, whatever people needed. For instance, it depends on the type of tools that you have. If you have a pressure washer, then offer pressure washing. Or if you have, a brush, a brush and water, you can clean solar panels. It's not rocket science, but just offer something you're confident in doing, but also offer something you can do a good job at, and you're confident doing. And, if you're not healthy and you're not fit and you don't have strong legs, you shouldn't be getting on roofs. It's all common sense. But you can get into Facebook pages, get yourself a business name. I purchased a business name, which I believe was like $100 or something like that. Make sure you obviously have an ABN. And then once you have an ABN and a business name, you can put yourself out there in a Facebook group and say, hey, I'm offering this service. If anyone wants more information, please feel free to reach out. And then have an actual Facebook page and start posting on there regularly, videos or photos of your work or whatever it might be. And if possible, if you have the opportunity to do this and you're currently working full time and you have the opportunity to cut back your days maybe down to 3 days a week, or even at the start 4 days a week, and you can run your business and do your own jobs on those extra 2 days, and then transition to eventually work full time, that would be your best method. If you can progressively pull your days back a little bit to eventually go full time. So Facebook groups initially, like these days for me, I don't post in Facebook groups either, because it does almost get to like a similar area as like Airtasker, where there's just people just trying to undercut constantly, and people looking for a bargain. And, there will be those customers, but, you don't need to spend your time trying to make people happy with what they want to pay. You set your rates and you be firm with those rates, and you have confidence in those rates. But then if someone doesn't like the rates, or they have a problem with it, or they say, hey, I can't afford it, I'm a pensioner, or whatever it is, that's fair enough. But just say, that's okay, sorry, I can't help you. You need to be firm. Otherwise you won't get anywhere, If you're going to someone's house and you're mounting their TV for $20, or $40, you're not making any money, and you will never be able to establish a sustainable business. So there's that. So Facebook groups initially, and then after that, I would recommend looking into Facebook ads. Now, this is how I get most of my work. A lot of my work now is like referrals or repeat customers and things like that. But jump on Canva. There's an application called Canva where you can create artwork and create some sort of poster, which allows you to, you say Handyman, or whatever you want to offer, pressure cleaning services or window cleaning, gutter cleaning, whatever it might be. And then you just have to, you have to use some common sense when you're doing this. Obviously, I can't explain every single step, but you create some sort of poster, and then you jump on Facebook and get Chat GPT to write you up some sort of ad. Say, hey, Chat, I am looking to offer this service. Please write me up a script or an ad, and it will do that. It will do that in like 3 seconds. And you can use that, copy, paste that to Facebook, and then you can start running an ad. And now the best method to do this is by running 5 different ads that are all slightly different, maybe using the same art but different text, or different text, different art, or same text, different art, and then run 5 ads at the time and spend maybe $50 on each of them. And then whichever ad gets the best results and gets the most replies, because what you're going to be requesting is message replies. Whichever one gets the best results, you're going to go all in on that one ad and just run that ad every week. You're going to spend $100 a week on that ad, and then every single reply that you get is a lead, it's a customer, and then you can go service that customer and they pay you, So it's simple in theory, but when you start this process, there is lots of trials, there's lots of tribulations. It's not just a straight road. It's not just like a perfect path that's laid out. It is challenging, but it's worth it. It is worth it. I think the rewards of working for yourself outweigh the negatives. I will say that you just need to be strong-minded. You need to be hardworking, and you also just have to have the desire to genuinely do the right thing by people. Because whenever I'm at a customer's house, I'm never trying to take advantage of the customer or cut corners or do anything like that. I'm always trying to do a job to the best of my ability. And as I said, it's not like I'm the best plasterer or I'm the best at hanging doors or the best at hanging TVs or mounting TVs, but I try to do the best that I possibly can in every situation. And I think you need to have that when you're in a home service business like this. So just a few tips. I just thought I'd make a quick video, might be able to help someone. And yeah, if you do have any other questions, I guess leave a comment. But yeah, all the best. If this video was helpful, let me know, and maybe I can make a couple more. Thanks, guys. See ya.